Hello, I'm Gavin, and today we're going to talk about the science, or an introduction to the science, of why we feel alone and where does that come from. If you're new here, I help solo entrepreneurs who feel a sense of isolation because of their business to have that sense of connection and community around them. So in my previous videos, I gave some tips and some tools that an entrepreneur or a freelancer could use if they work by themselves to kind of create that sense of connection and community instantly and quickly. But today we're going to go a little bit deeper into, well, why do we need that? Like, what's going on in our mind and in our bodies that causes this to happen anyway? And one of my favorite places to start is with this guy, Effective Neuroscience. It's one of my favorite books about, well, affective pretty much means like emotional, and this is neuroscience in the brain. It's by a psychologist, and actually no, I think he's a primatologist and an evolutionary psychologist, Jaak Panksepp. Weird name. I'm just gonna show it again. Yeah. And he found 7 circuits in the brain that really affect us on, well, 7 emotional circuits, and that really affect our entire enjoyment and struggles in life. So you might be thinking, why am I going into this? Well, if we understand how our body and mind works, then we can better be able to provide our needs and create an ecosystem and a lifestyle around us that makes us feel more of those positive emotions and less of those negative emotions. But if we don't really understand the wiring and we kind of just guess or follow what we see other people doing, then we might be making mistakes, intuitive mistakes, but costly mistakes, and we might go down the road, do a lot of work and a lot of effort to build something that at the end of it isn't ultimately fulfilling. So I'm going back down to the roots, the wiring and our biology. So let's dive in. So Jaak talks about the 7 circuits, and I'm just going to run through them real quick. I kind of group them into like 3 negative and 4 positives. I'm just going to name off the all 7. I'll actually name the first 3 negatives first. So there's the anger circuit, anxiety, and panic or loss. They call it panic loss. And then the 4 positives is seeking, pleasure or lust, seeking, lust, play, and care. Okay? So negative, positive. Now, most mammals, when the negative circuits are on, or the painful circuits are on, we'll do anything to turn them off, like anything. And when the positive circuits are on and we get a taste of them, we'll do anything to turn them on. We'll metaphorically keep pressing that button to feel more of those feelings. So in the seeking circuit, you know what? I'll actually go down each circuit really, really quickly. Just to get a sense of what they are and how they feel, because they are emotional circuits after all. So the anger circuit, we know what that's like. You know, someone upsets us and triggers us, or, you know, someone does something to us in the street or road rage, and we get angry and we want to teach another person a lesson or whatever it may be, and that circuit's firing. Or maybe we're facing a challenge that is new to us and we don't know exactly how to deal with it. That's the anxiety circuit. The panic circuit, it sounds like anxiety is a little different. Panic has to deal with, surprise, surprise, loneliness and being abandoned. It really comes from the mother-child bond, which is why I think they put that on the front of the book. That's what we learn. We're social animals, again. And if we feel separated from the group or too far away for too long, like in the city it's a little different because we're always really around people, but imagine literally being in the woods by yourself and there's not a human in sight or a human structure anywhere, would panic. But more on that later. The seeking circuit is, you know, the pursuit of happiness. Let's say we're always in the pursuit, and when we're making progress towards something, that's the dopaminergic system. That's actually where addictions come from. We're always seeking the next pleasure, seeking the next thing. It's a kind of Sisyphus type story. Of course, and the last 4 of pleasure circuits is care. That's, you know, nurturing the people we care about, you know, healthcare, you know, making a comfortable home, that kind of thing, caring about our loved ones. There's play, which I think is one of Yak's biggest things. They nicknamed him the Rat Tickler because he found out that rats laugh at an ultrasonic level if you tickle them. So that's how you found the play circuit in all mammals. And if you watch nature documentaries, we did last night, me and my wife, and we saw a bunch of hunting dogs in Madagascar. The little puppies were playing with each other. It's amazing. Like, animals like to play, and once you play with them, they'll want to play back. And of course, the lust circuit, that one we all know and love, and we'll address that another time. So back to the panic circuit. This panic circuit is where a lot of ideas about romance and attachment and connection and community comes from. And when that circuit is triggered and going off, that's when we feel all those negative, painful emotions that comes with loneliness and isolation. So that panic circuit, the only chemicals or hormones that can quiet that system down are oxytocin and progesterone. Now, progesterone is, again, mother-child. It's if a baby is crying, then the mother will give the breast milk, and the nursing and the touching and the soothing provides both. Touching releases oxytocin, and the connection and the love between the mother, as well as the breast milk, contains progesterone. Because the other aspect of socializing as adults is oxytocin. That is the love chemical. It's the thing that gets released when we're feeling socialized and really deeply, meaningfully connecting with someone else through touch or through a really good conversation. And again, it quiets that system because the brain and the body goes, oh, I'm connected. I'm with another person. Great, I can calm down. Now, progesterone and oxytocin are endogenous opiates. They're opioids that our body uses because opiates are a painkiller. And loneliness is a pain state. This is the part that I find kind of interesting and sad. Vivek Murthy, the 19th Surgeon General of the United States, put out a book recently called Together. And in it, he talks about how loneliness and isolation is actually one of the biggest health risks in the country. A matter of fact, about 50% of Americans and people in the UK and Australia claim they're lonely or feel as if they don't have any close friends. 50% of the population. That's a lot of people. And then two, running almost concurrently with the rise of loneliness, you also have the rise of opioid usage, which now we're in an opiate epidemic. And I really don't think that they're completely unrelated to each other. This is part of why I am so passionate about this, about the work that I do, and especially with videos like this. It's bringing things that would be hidden in some textbook and bringing it to our lives to where we can use it, to where we can have it and implement things in our life things that would otherwise be out of our awareness or out of our consciousness or out of reach are now within our grasp and like, oh, this is actually a thing. Let me go to work on it. Now, the only thing that I advocate to help you and I quiet that panic system when we feel too distant from our family and our friends is to go and have those kind of conversations to reintegrate and reintroduce oxytocin into our system. And the sad part is the only way we can get oxytocin into our system is through interactions with other people, meaningful conversations, touch, that kind of, wow, they care about me type thing. So hope that was helpful. And if there was any confusion or any questions you may have, please let me know in the comments. But I'm as you can tell, I'm pretty jazzed up by this stuff. So until next time, let's keep having these kind of togetherness conversations. I want you here with me. I want to help you as a solo entrepreneur get everything you need to be able to give us your best and not have your work environment or your choice of profession be the cause of your isolation and your loneliness. So until next time, this is Gavin signing off.